Hi, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, going over a quick midday update on both the ES and the NQ. Nothing in this video should be construed as trading advice, and that goes for everything that's on my blog, as long as what I put out on StockTwits and Twitter. Just kind of want to update people and kind of take a look at how I look at the market. And so my primary concern when I trade is I'm coming at this, at least from what I'm doing on StockTwits, from a position of what can I do to help clients, the people that I coach, build their accounts. Okay, because most of the clients I speak to are either have been trading for a while, 6 months to 3 years on average, and they have been trading either trading sideways or simply losing money, which is a result of no actual edge, choppy trading, using indicators that work sometimes and don't work other times, a whole basket full of reasons, unstructured entry, unstructured exit, all kinds of things that work against you. And let me tell you, we're operating in a fairly violent environment. Literally, if I'm sitting across from you on a computer, my job is to take money from you, point blank. I don't feel bad about it. I'm happy to do it all day long. However, there's more than enough bad traders out there for at least everyone I work with to become a successful trader. And I think that's really cool. It's really awesome. It's really important for you to know that you can make money trading. The other mistake people try to do is they try to grind it out all day long. They try to make the push to trade from the beginning of the day to the end of the day and then some. And just that's a superhuman effort. It's very difficult to do. I certainly don't try to do it. I always take a break in the middle of the day, except on the most extreme of days. And I'm very selective on where I'm entering my trades. So let's get to work quickly here and take a look. First, we had the white zone. What does the white zone do? White zone determines who has control in the market. That gives me my bias. Above the white zone, buyers are in control. Below the white zone, sellers are in control. So what I'm looking to do here, we opened above the white zone, even if it was just by a few ticks. First dip into the white zone. Okay, you can take the trade anywhere in the white zone that suits you. The front of the zone is very aggressive, middle to back has highest odds. However, with regards to the white zone, I personally like to trade the first touch of the white zone as quickly as possible. I'd rather get it in the back than the front, because you have to have your stop somewhere back here to let the zone work. Okay, and the stop that you're trading has to be reasonable for the trade that you're taking, and it has to fit your ability to bear risk. So you have to put both those things in mind. And if you'll look this morning, we opened right into the white zone and dipped right down into it and rotated up. We've tested this 1680 level multiple times over multiple days. And just like any zone, each time an area gets tested, the odds of that area acting as resistance and or support each time becomes less and less upon each subsequent test. And that's what we had this morning. You had a couple challenges. You had Bernanke speaking, and we had a big data point coming out at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. So first thing you have to decide when you sit down today is, can I bear the risk of what's going to happen if Bernanke says something crazy? Either way, that can drive the market in one direction or the other. You've got to be able to be honest with yourself and answer that question. If you can't, it's no big deal. Today is just one of many, many days. Who cares if you make money today or not? The only thing that's going to matter is if you lose a lot. Making a lot, you're unlikely to be trading. If you're listening to my videos and you're watching what I'm talking about, you're unlikely to be trading enough that it's going to make a single difference in one day or one trade. So why gamble? Why take the risk if you can't handle the odds? Now, for me, I know the odds. I know that I can get placed in front, and I also had a pretty good clue because before Bernanke spoke yesterday, we spiked up out of the open, and I kind of expected a replay of that. We opened above the white zone. We tested down. We just had a few ticks. I mean, anywhere you bought, I think at worst case scenario, you had half a point, 2 ticks of heat coming in here. And then I put an 8-tick target, and I always get emails. Doesn't seem like you can make a lot of money with 8 ticks. Doesn't seem like you make a lot of money with 8 ticks. Well, let me tell you, I hit 8 ticks extremely often, well over 80% of the time. Actually, recently it's been over 90% of the time. And do the math. If you can find 1 or 2 trades a day for 8 ticks, that's 2 points. That's a total of 4 points a day, right? And you focus on those 2 trades, the same 2 setups that you know you have high probability of hitting. and you repeat them over and over and over and over again, right? And adding position size in a logical, planned manner as your account's going up, how long is it going to take you to start making significant money? My experience has been it hasn't been a long time. The problem is people are trading and they don't have that particular edge that is letting them repeat the same trade over and over. So what they have to do is try to cobble together trades with different edges and different probabilities of winning, and try to string this long continuous string of trades over many hours together to have a great day. And what that results in is cycles of booms and busts. When you get a market trending, you tend to be able to hit it over and over again. Then the market changes, either your indicator starts working or the market itself has changed, and what was working perfectly before is now blowing up in your face. So what I strive to do is simply hit the same trade over and over, and with the traders that I coach, focus on building that account. Build it, build it, build it, so that you can actually use it to make a living and live off of it, instead of scrambling to find what the next edge is, or what the next trade is, what the next market is, or what the next website is that'll help you. So if we look, we clearly had an open drive. We consolidated here in front of the news. The news came out. That kind of took a couple seconds, and then Mr. Bernanke spoke. And as soon as Mr. Bernanke spoke, we got that additional push. Now, I'm hesitant usually to take a contra trade, or a long in the zones that are immediately above or below. It's an aggressive stance. If I am going to take it, I'm certainly looking at the middle to back of the zones for those trade placements on contra control trades. And as you'll see, we did get a rotation. If you took the very back here, we kind of rotated down. You would have been able to get 7 ticks, but my gosh, that was an aggressive trade. And look at the risk that you bared that came up just a couple minutes later. Now, the next thing that people ask me about is initial resistance. There are trades that I take out of initial resistance, but mostly what initial resistance tells me is I expect to find responsive sellers at initial resistance, and I am less eager to take trades in direction of control without additional evidence. Today, as it turns out, it's working out just fine. You came and the first touch at the top of this zone worked perfectly. And this is not a system or a method or a model. This is simply me looking for my highest odds trades. And so now that we've hit initial resistance, I want middle to back of the zone now. I want to shift my risk. We're in the afternoon. We're in the middle of the day. I don't want to take my most aggressive posture like I did here in the morning. I want to take a less aggressive posture. I may not want to trade at all. That would be totally fine. I'm certainly cutting my trade size down. If you're someone who can do that, if you're trading more than 2 contracts, you can certainly cut your trade size down, right? The other thing, let's take a look at what's going on over here with the NASDAQ. So here's the other chart, and this is just a picture of perfection today. Okay, we opened up again. We opened up above the white zone. We came down in. We tested. This is perfect. Middle to back of the zone. Beautiful trade setup. It doesn't get better. Middle to back of the zone. It doesn't get prettier than this. And look at this. Responsive buyers. We pushed all the way up. This is a push from approximately 30.73 all the way to the back of the zone, 30.86. This is over 13 points. That's $20 a point per contract on NQ. Okay, and then again, I mentioned that it was over lunch, New York lunch. This is the hardest time of day to trade. We consolidated right over to the zone, and then we broke the zone. And I mentioned as this was happening that it doesn't make a lot of sense if NQ is so weak that ES will continue higher, and that there might be something wrong here. And I just offered caution. And then we traded back here below the white zone, okay? And at this point, buyers are taking control back in, and I mentioned that is a possibility. The reason for that possibility, look at the time of day that this is occurring in. This is in the chop, crummy, crap, give your money away time of day, right? And for the same reason that I didn't take ES at the top of the zone, I'm not looking to take NQ at the top of the zone. Back of the zone with a reasonable stop, you may have survived this, you may have not, depends on how big your stop is, and you would have had to be right at the back of the zone. Very difficult trade. And then you're also, middle of the day, who knows which way it's going to go, and we still don't know which way it's going to go until the end of the day. So if you look, very clear, trade in. If you can't make money, right, on taking 5 NQ points and 2 ES points per trade, and you can hit those trades consistently, and if you look at my blog, you'll see over and over and over again various trades set up. Okay, you may not be able to make money trading. If you need a trend day up to make your account go up big and then you're giving it up every other day, you're going to have a very difficult time growing your equity. And what most traders find is that they're trading for free. They're working for free because they make money on one day just to give it back on another day. And I hate to see that for people. It doesn't have to be that way, but so many traders trade that way. So looking at the end of the day, when I look at the market right now, first of all, last hour of the day, which we're heading into, it's 1:45 right now, Central Time, heading towards the last hour of the day. First of all, you have to contend with algos. The majority of algos fire in the last hour of the day, making conditions fairly choppy. Number two, you have no idea which way the market's going to go, and you put yourself in a pressure situation. You only have basically an hour and change to make your money, to make your trade work for you, and it can blow in either direction. Fading the last hour can be a highly problematic strategy for most traders. So if you're going to come in, you're going to try and trade the last hour, and you're going to try to make your money there, you're going to find that your account is likely to blow very quickly. It definitely requires a higher level of knowledge and a higher level of skill to execute properly. And I want to point something out. If you're not executing in these zones, you're executing outside of these zones, you're simply asking to get killed. That's all there is to it. These zones themselves, these trade areas, okay, are in and of themselves part of my edge, a big part. Actually, I would rather get rid of everything else except these zones and only trade off of this right here than having VWAP on there, than having the tick divergence. I would simply want to trade off the zones. Okay, so if you're trading out there and you're struggling, there's ways to fix it. There's lots of great traders that are on Twitter and StockTwits, and you can buy their trade plan. And if you can discipline yourself to follow it, you can make money with them. There's coaches like myself out there that would be willing to, if you can afford it, sit down with you and teach you how to develop your own trade plan, how to develop the methodology to increase the confidence in your own trade plan, which is a big issue. It's hard to follow someone else's trade plan when you don't have confidence. And then the third part is whatever your self-destructive sabotaging that takes place within your trading, it's a big problem for traders. So at any rate, I hope this helped a few people. This is a pretty straightforward day. First trade in, new all-time highs. I'm not really looking to short. Obviously, in fantasy land, I wish I had. The zone was set up perfectly for it, but I don't live in fantasy land, and I have to trade for a living. The other thing that I wanted to point out, if I can squeeze this on here, when you have one market that is trading, and we've seen this a couple times in the last couple of days, but you have one market that's trading above control and one market that's trading below control, it's a tug of war, and there's no way to tell who's going to be able to win this. Okay, if I'm going to trade in a direction, like right now, both buyers are in control of both the NQ and the ES, I want to be trading in the direction where people have control. I don't want to chase, I want to wait for a setup, but I want to be trading in control. And I would like both these markets to be in unison because I have a better chance of having a big move in unison when both markets are headed in the same direction. So I hope I helped that out a few people. My name is Simon. I'm with Trade and Perform Coaching. If you have any questions, you can email me at tradeandperform@gmail.com, or you can check out my blog. I hope everyone's having a great day.